Welcome back to the Big Band Scene Revisited. I'm Gerald Woodruff, and we're going back to June 21st, 1978, live at Disneyland with Woody Herman. So let's not waste any time. Let's head back to the Carnation Square with Woody Herman, live at Disneyland on the Big Band Scene Revisited.
Interview with Mr. Woody Herman, 6/21/1978. Woody, it's good to have you back in town again.
Well, it's nice to be around, particularly to be at home, you know.
Yeah. Hollywood has been your home for a great number of years now.
Yeah, I guess about 40 years, but actually we've been in the same house for 32 years.
Yeah, is this a house? Somebody told me that Humphrey Bogart lived in at one time.
Yeah, Bogart and Bacall lived in it the first year that they were married, and then she decided, I guess, or they decided they needed a bigger house. And so we came along.
Do you ever hear Bogey say, "Play it again, Sam"?
No, I missed that completely.
Woody, now you've got a brand new album out. As a matter of fact, as of tonight, you got two new albums out. One called Roadfather, and the new one with Flip Phillips. Now, this is recorded now direct-to-disc, going back to the old way of recording. How do you feel about the album? Are you happy and you satisfied with it?
The Roadfather album I am very much, and this other album I have not heard, so I can't very well discuss it.
Well, how do you feel about the new way of recording? Actually, not new. It's reverting back to the old 78 way, direct-to-disc.
I do think that it can be very effective and that you can really get some great fidelity and some great sound. And if you have the proper engineers, then you can have a great result.
Now, this is your first direct-to-disc album, one of many, we hope. How's it been received so far? Did you get much airplay?
I don't know about that, but I do know that it has quite a good sale, and the people who are producing the record are very pleased about that. As far as getting play, I really don't have any accurate accounting of that whatsoever. But we hope to reservice all the stations in America if I have my opinion, listened to. Yeah. And then we'll decide if we can get some play on the air.
Well, it's certainly getting a lot of good airplay on my show, Woody.
I certainly appreciate that. You know that.
Well, now, Woody, you've included Alan Vazuti's Fire Dance on here. Now, do you still play that in the light that Alan's no longer with the band?
No, there are certain pieces, just like there were certain pieces like 23 Red with Bill Chase back in the 60s. And when he left the band, you just retire the number the same as you do with a football player or a baseball player.
Yeah, that's right, because these numbers belong to the artist himself.
That's right, plus the fact that they are gigantic type artists, giants. And you don't ask someone else to do a pseudo-imitation. It wouldn't be fair to anyone.
Yeah. Now, one thing about the direct-to-disc, Woody, these are limited edition. Some of your earlier albums became limited edition only because they were never promoted.
This may happen the same way. I'm not sure.
Now, I understand that on this album, Roadfather, that you broke in most of these charts on that tour you made last fall in England.
Well, I think we played some of the music, and because we had planned to record it earlier in England, and then plans were changed, and so we just continued to play the material. But I think that sometimes in our case, I don't know why this happens, but very often, the very early stages of playing a chart, I feel that we arrive at a much better result than if we keep playing it for too long. As a matter of fact, we should get rid of it after a very limited amount of time.
You find it better, Woody, to kind of break it in beforehand or just go in fresh in the studio?
Well, I don't like to be reading music and and not have complete relaxation and so on. No, I think you should have the music under your fingers and so on, and be pretty much decided on how you want to interpret the music. But once you've gotten that, I don't think you should overtrain.
Yeah, there was a lot of musicians, a lot of people wondering about the title Roadfather. Now, I always thought that Woody Herman considered himself more of a coach than a roadfather.
Well, I was given this name, and I'm very thankful that I was. It was given to me by Bill Chase's parents, because when Bill was a member of my band in the earliest stages of the 60s, they thought of me as me being his father away from home, or a parent of some kind. I don't think I was, but as long as they gave me this honor, why, I feel that I should accept it.
Well, now, Woody, there's been a lot of critics since the album came out that wondered why you included Woodchopper's Ball again. And a lot of them figure they much prefer the 1939 version to this one.
I would hope they would, because it merely means that they like very old and decrepit music. So I would prefer if they always played the 1939 version. It's best for them. And the only reason I included it this time around is because this is a new media of recording. I don't know if it'll ever be heard again, and I think it would be best to leave it with a great sound of direct-to-disc. That's all.
Well, you certainly moved with the times with this, the new version of Woodchopper's Ball. Now I see you're back singing the blues again with I've Got News for You, but now Bruce is no longer with you.
No, I do the tune by myself now. Poor Bruce has to be out on his own. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but Bruce
is the first musician, I think this might be interesting to your listeners, first musician that I've ever lost to a musical instrument company. He was hired away from my band by the Selmer Band Instrument Company, and I consider that a low blow.
Are you listening, Selmer? And he also got married, Woody.
Well, that's even almost worse.
Right, but now I see that you've updated this quite a bit from the original version that Ralph Burns, I believe, did he do the original back in 47, 48?
And it's basically exactly the same arrangement. The only thing is we changed the instrumentation. Yeah. Instead of a lead alto, we have a flugelhorn playing the lead with the saxophones. And that's about it, making a baritone solo out of a trumpet solo. So, but the parts and the original arrangement is just as it was. But the years will make everything sound somewhat different. I would certainly hope so. Because if we are as obsolete as we were, then there wouldn't be much future in the whole darn thing.
Yeah. Now, since the last time I seen you, Woody, let's see, it was in Orange County, I believe, at the recording session for Roadfall. You've made there's been quite a few personnel changes. Alan's left, Bruce, Pat Coral. How do you manage to find superior, or at least equal replacements? You keep coming up with some fantastic musicians. One leaves and then you bring in another.
Well, I think we're remarkably lucky, but also I think that we receive a great deal of help from music educators around the country and from players, former players of mine. Everyone is in there pitching, trying to find the best people we can possibly have. And for this, I'm most grateful.
Yeah, and also you've done some wholesale raids from North Texas State.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They can finish any one semester before I will even tamper with them. So I feel that they have a chance to beat the rap. They really do.
But now, even Gary Anderson has left. He's been gone for quite a while too. Yeah.
Well, he's sort of on a sabbatical. He keeps coming and going. He was back about 2 weeks ago. Or last week, as a matter of fact. He replaced Frank Tiberi for a week and did 3 new charts, and then went back to his abode in New York and his second home, which is Atlanta, where he does jingles and so on.
Yeah. Now, since the last time we spoke, Woody, you've been honored on several occasions. I think you got a doctor's degree or a degree from Berklee School of Music. This must have been quite an honor.
Yeah, it really was, and I treasure this very, very much. Also, recently, in my hometown of Milwaukee, the Civic Music Association, which is a very prestigious group, and have done a great deal with symphony and opera and ballet and so on, made me Man of the Year recently, and I consider that a great honor.
Yeah, that is quite an honor to be named Man of the Year. Now, you've also, your 40th anniversary concert album was up for a Grammy, too.
Yes, it was, and evidently we didn't have the right number.
But you won 2 previously, though. That must be quite an honor to have an album to win, or...
I hate to correct you, but we have won 3.
Oh, 3? Well, that's even better, Woody.
So we really don't need any.
And also, I believe you was over in Warsaw, Poland, to their big concert there, their jazz jamboree. How was the band received at that concert?
Fabulously, and we've been in Warsaw now on two different occasions in the last 2.5 years, and we plan to go back again sometime. We were there originally for the Polish Jazz Society, along with the government television. They paid part of the tab, and this last time we were brought over by the United States State Department to represent our government for the Polish people.
Now, when you do a concert like in Poland, what do they expect of Woody Herman? The old charts, or they still dig the new stuff you do, the new music?
They're very much interested in just about everything we attempt to do, and I've sent over quite a bit of music arrangements for them to work with, because that's their biggest hang-up, trying to get good charts and so on. And the reception is just utterly fabulous.
Now, one thing concerning that 40th anniversary, a lot of people, including myself, thought it was a beautiful gesture on your part to dedicate that album to the late Bill Chase. I'm sure if Bill had been alive, he would have probably been at the Carnegie Hall with you.
I'm sure he would have been, yes. He certainly was one of the greatest players I ever had in any of my bands.
Yeah, but I rather imagine it's kind of sad when you lose people you've known that played in your band, like Greg Herbert, Bill Chase, and I think Bill Harris, too.
Of course, it's a great loss whenever you lose people that you really love and people who have contributed so much to the music that whatever our band has said musically.
Yeah. Well, Woody, I understand one thing. Now, most of your gigs, I understand, except Disneyland here and a few other locations, are all in high schools and colleges. Why is this?
Well, I feel that this is the best work we can do. I enjoy it the most. And as long as we're dealing with young people, we have a chance to contribute something where we can't have when I'm dealing with my contemporaries who are mostly senile and, same as I am.
Oh, now, Woody. But understand that they played, colleges and the high schools played more of your charts than any other band. Now, this is must be quite a thrill.
I really don't know, but I do feel that we certainly hear a great deal of our music being played, and for this I'm most grateful, because I feel that the publishers who have been doing the gig for us, the Hal Leonard people, are the best educational music publishers in the world, and I'm very proud to be with them.
One thing I'm happy to see, that the serious accident that you went through, Woody, doesn't seem to have slowed you up any. You're still right in there, slugging away every inch.
Still driving very badly, and I'll continue, I guess. But I enjoy what I do, and I'd like to have a little more time off, but it doesn't seem to be possible.
We'll continue right after the fireworks.
Hope you enjoyed part 1 of Woody Herman live at Disneyland here on the Big Band Scene Revisited. So for the Big Band Scene Revisited, Fred Woodruff Productions, Sierra Pine Studios, I'm Gerald Woodruff.